K. Michael Conaway is a proud Texas native. He was born in Borger, Texas, and moved to Odessa, Texas when he was in the 2nd grade. He and his brother Larry and his sister Pam attended school in Odessa. Mike graduated from Permian High School in 1966 after playing on Permian's first state championship football team in 1965. He played football at East Texas State in Commerce, Texas, and graduated with a degree in accounting. He started a 30-year-plus accounting career with the Price Waterhouse and Company, a prestigious accounting firm in Dallas. He was drafted into the Army in 1970 and proudly served at Fort Hood as an MP. After he got out of the Army, he went back to work at Price Waterhouse. He and his wife Julie had 2 sons, Brian and Aaron. Price Waterhouse had several clients in Midland, so he moved to Midland to open the Price Waterhouse tax practice. One of his clients was George W. Bush. They became friends and ultimately business partners in oil. The subsequent years were difficult for Mike and his boys. His beloved wife of 19 years tragically died of leukemia in 1987, leaving Mike as a single dad of 2 teenage boys. They were a strong threesome who made it through some tough years. Mike began working at United Bank mainly to have more time to coach his boys in sports and spend more time with them. Across town, in 1990, Suzanne Kidwell lost her husband Randy in a plane crash. She was left as a single mom of 2 teenage girls. God and a few well-meaning friends brought them together as a mini Brady Bunch where they became a very blessed family. When George Bush became governor of Texas, he appointed Mike to the Texas State Board of Public Accounting. Through his committee work and eventual chairmanship, he developed a love of the legislation process which lit a fire in his heart for politics. In 2002, he had launched his first congressional campaign to run for the seat that Chairman Larry Combest had vacated. He was ultimately elected to serve in the newly created 11th District of Texas. During the campaign, he traveled around the district and met many prominent members of the agricultural community. That made an impact on him, and he knew he wanted to serve on an ag committee. He was elected and proudly served for 16 years as a U.S. representative. During his time in Congress, in addition to the Agricultural Committee, he served on the Armed Services, Budget, and Ethics Committees. He served 12 years at the Speaker's pleasure on the prestigious House Permanent Select Committee on Intel. In addition to chairing the House of Ag Committee, Mike also chaired the House Ethics Committee and led the HPSCI investigation into the Russian interference in the 2016 election. While Mike's degree was in accounting and his experience was in oil and gas, it did not take him long to fully appreciate the similarities between the hard-working oil field hands and the farmers, and both the groups' importance to our nation. Agriculture intrigued him, and he began to study the intricacies of the way ag works. In 2015, he became the chairman of the House Agricultural Committee. He led with pride, integrity, and openness, inspiring farm and ranch families around the nation to stand a little taller and participate in the policymaking process. He worked to eliminate mandatory country of origin labeling for livestock, eliminating the threat of retaliatory tariffs from Canada and Mexico. He led a coalition to reverse the disastrous cuts to crop insurance in the Bipartisan Budget Act of 2015. He successfully persuaded the Obama and Trump administrations to craft the Gin and Cost Share program to provide assistance to cotton producers for the 2015 and 2016 crop years after they lost access to the farm safety net, which he restored via the Bipartisan Budget Act of 2018. He worked to eliminate the restriction on crop insurance expenditures for livestock, paving the way for revolutionary new crop insurance products for livestock producers, also in the Bipartisan Budget Act of 2018. He had many successes as a member of Congress. The highlight of his career was the passage of the 2018 Farm Bill. It was passed on time and with a solid bipartisan vote of 369 to 47. Mike crafted the 2018 Farm Bill H.R. 2, protecting and improving the farm safety net while providing a blueprint for the Trump administration's reform to Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Among other benefits, the bill reformed the Conservation Stewardship Program, adding record levels of funding for the Environmental Quality Incentives Program. It provided permanent funding for watershed dams and other flood control infrastructure improvements. It created the Feral Swine Eradication Pilot Program. It permanently restored and funded the Market Access Program, the Foreign Market Development Program, technical assistance for specialty crops, and the Emerging Markets Program under the Agricultural Trade Promotion and Facilitation Program. Mike retired in 2021. He is still active as a lobbyist with Conaway Graves, a firm that he and his former staff director of the Ag Committee, Scott Graves, formed in 2021. He and Suzanne are enjoying traveling, playing golf, and spending more time with their 4 children and 7 busy grandchildren.
Well, it's my great honor to get to talk about a friend and a man that I have a great deal of respect and admiration for. That is Congressman Michael Conaway, Chairman Conaway, a gentleman who served the West Texas region honorably for 16 years in Congress, was in business prior to that as a respected CPA. But when he came to Congress, what I love and what I admire most about Mike is in coming to Congress, even in seeking to earn the votes of the constituents of West Texas, he was always one who put others first, who wanted to learn the business. If he was going to earn the right to represent, he just took that job so seriously. So I remember after he was elected, taking groups up to Washington, D.C., getting to work in that environment, taking them to see various members of Congress. So many loved kind of sit in their big armchairs and pontificate, but Mike would always give all the best seats in the room to all the constituents, all the people who were taking their time and treasure to come to Washington, D.C. and petition the government. And Mike would take the chair by the desk and get out his legal pad and take copious notes, ask deep questions to learn all that he could about their industry. And I think that just indicates the quality of the man and the way that he took his job to represent the best interests of West Texas and the best qualities of the people of West Texas within the U.S. Congress. Obviously, he rose to the highest levels, becoming the chairman of the House Ag Committee, a position that is so vitally important to this particular region, a position that we know well as we gather to honor tonight at the Gerald W. Thomas Outstanding Agriculturalist Award. I could think of no one more deserving, having risen to the heights of responsibility and respect in Washington, D.C., and having led that committee in such an honorable way, accomplishing, of course, the 2018 Farm Bill, which was so important for the time, achieving the most that he could potentially achieve. When you think about getting cotton back into the Farm Bill and providing critical assistance through ginning assistance and making some critical changes to federal crop insurance that have really provided such a better safety net for so many farmers. Mike Conaway, not only did he earn the right to serve in that capacity, he made the most of that opportunity, served honorably in a way that I think always looking back at politicians, we want for a better, a more just and just a better time of better interaction between members of Congress. In so many ways, Mike Conaway, just like his predecessor from the 19th District, Larry Combest, as chairman of the Ag Committee, they embodied that. It should be a great source of pride for all of West Texas. It should be a particular source of pride for Texas Tech University and all that the Davis College stands for. So, Mike, congratulations on your on the fact that you earned and that we are so proud to get to call you an outstanding agriculturalist as a recipient of the Gerald W. Thomas Award.